Tonight, Fifth Circuit Solicitor Dan Johnson and his former communications director facing more than 24 federal charges, including wire and mail fraud, after being accused of taking public money to support a private lifestyle. News 19's Lauren Thomas has been following this story from the beginning. She has more on today's developments.
Federal prosecutors announced that Fifth Circuit Solicitor Dan Johnson and former Director of Communications for his office, Nicole Holland, have both been charged with 26 counts of federal fraud charges. A joint indictment shows that the two are accused of wire fraud, mail fraud, conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, and theft of federal funds. The indictment says that Solicitor Johnson used public funds to finance a private lifestyle and that he used his position as elected solicitor to siphon money from the 5th Judicial Circuit of South Carolina. As for Holland, the indictment says she used her position to both aid and abet for her boss, Dan Johnson, and to personally siphon public funds for private use. The indictment says the actions began back in 2016 through the use of solicitor office-issued Bank of America credit cards. It goes on to say Solicitor Johnson and Holland embezzled at least $5,000 in federal funds. Earlier this year, watchdog group Paper.org obtained nearly 40,000 financial documents connected to the solicitor's office. Some of those documents showed thousands of dollars being transferred from the narcotics account to Solicitor Johnson's business credit card account. Some of that money was from the federal drug forfeiture program. After those documents were released, SLED and the FBI began investigating. Now, the two could face potential fines of up to $250,000 for each count and 10 to 20 years in prison. Reporting in the studio, Lauren Thomas, News 19, WLTX.
Lauren, thanks. There is work.